Welcome. Thank you for showing up early for this interview for the mid-level assistant associate production agent manager position. I appreciate the punctuality, but I am slightly alarmed at how early you were for this interview. Uh, you are considerably early. You live right around the corner? Well, that's good to hear. Do you need any water, coffee? You already have it. Okay. Now, before we proceed, do you have any concerns with this interview being recorded for posterity and future hiring decisions? No, you don't. Okay. You do need to sign here. And just sign and date that. To verify your consent to being recorded purely for internal and business purposes only. Nothing in this interview can be used externally for promotional purposes without your permission and would require another signature for that to occur. You don't mind it being posted on YouTube? Okay, well, that's interesting, but trust me, this recording is only for internal uses in the hiring process. I will be typing down notes and information as well, but lately in our process of going paperless and for more comprehensive data purposes, we have been recording our interviews. So before going forward, do you verbally consent to having this interview recorded? All right, thank you. Now, we have an extensive interview process here at the World Wide Wicket company. It normally consists of 2 to 3 interviews here, and the interview process today should not take more than 30 minutes. Do you have any concerns with that time frame? Yes, this is an open interview, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any and all questions relating to the position, of course. I am going to start off with a little bit of background information about the company. Here at the World Wide Wicket company, we pride ourselves as being the industry-leading brand of wickets. From manufacturing, distribution, promotion, operation management, and even including research and development, there is no other company that has such a comprehensive process of providing the best wickets. And we are the only company that have full vertical and horizontal business practices to capitalize upon our reputation and brand when it comes to corporate efficacy and the environmental impact of wicket production. Well, as I am sure you are aware, we are trying to hire and fill this mid-level assistant associate production agent manager position. Now, we will be going over primarily behavioral and personality questions in this interview. This is due to our diverse and specific nature of our company culture. We truly want to find someone with the compatible business aptitude and mindful approach that can really help endorse and promote the spirit of our corporate structure that we want to have to be reciprocated and replicated among the other employees. We're really looking for someone who will stay with the company long term. There are no right or wrong answers, so just be calm, relaxed, and we really wanted to get to know you and the many attributes and characteristics that you have that you would bring into our environment. To make sure that you can thrive and grow within the structure of the company long term. Well, we are trying to reduce our turnover. Lately, there's been a weird uptake in turnover of employees, and we're trying to reduce that. Now, at the end of the interview, would you mind filling out a survey or leaving a comment after this interview? We are in the process of updating our interview processes, and anything you think could be helpful would be appreciated. You don't mind leaving? Okay, that's great. We do love comments and surveys and any input or feedback. Yes, feedback. That's a great word. Well, please be respectful, though. This is a professional business. Leaving a comment or completing the survey will have no impact on you obtaining the position. Yes. Your comment can be as long as you like. I don't think there's a character limit on. No, that shouldn't affect. It will have no impact on you getting the position. Well, yes, you can email me. You can leave the comment with the front desk counter. Yes. Yeah, you can do that if you want. That is entirely within your purview, yes. Well, our goal is to find the right person for the right job, and we are very particular in the individual that we're looking for, so let's get started. What interested you about this position? So, what about the World Wide Wicket Company makes you want to work here? What do you mean you want to work here and never leave? You mean you are is your goal a full ladder progression, or are you meaning that you don't ever want to go home? Okay, I'm going to follow up with that a little later. So, what are you excited to do here that you're passionate about? Well, that's very flattering, but I don't exactly. I'm not going to be your main direct. I'm the recruitment manager. I do. Yes. Well, all of the HR personnel here do a variety of different tasks, and yes, I will help out in meetings. Sometimes I'll be there during your performance evaluations. Sometimes I'll be called in for conflict resolution. But we have a whole team of HR professionals and representatives, so I might not be the main one you go to. We have an open door policy, so if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. We love questions, we love feedback, we love comments, we love making sure to respond and interact with everyone. But with that open door policy, there's a lot of other HR professionals who will be working with you. It's not just me. So, as flattering as it is, what excites you about like the work and the position and the job description? All right. So, what was your reason for leaving your previous job? Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? Well, as I mentioned, we're trying to reduce our turnover, and uh, we are really looking for someone who will stay with the company. And your previous comment of never leaving the company makes the sort of seems contradictory to why you left your last position. So, what do you look for in a boss or a manager to make sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes that happened in your previous employment that caused you to have those conflicts? Again, very flattering, but can you be a bit. We're not really asking about what appeals to you as far as the appearance of your boss and manager. What we're asking is more regarding the behavior and employee and boss relationship. Can you give them a bit more example of what you're looking for from your boss and manager regarding the position. Yes, thank you. Now, would you consider yourself a risk taker? Why? So do you value time more than money? Why? So what motivates you to show up to work on time every day? Again, very flattering, but I feel that that's sort of dodging the question. And if I was not there when you came to work, would that have an impact? So what would you consider your greatest strengths? It's okay to think about it. Nothing wrong with thinking about a question. So then what would you consider your greatest weaknesses? Interesting. Now, why did the manager have that perspective or opinion of you? Why do you think that they got that in their head, that that's how you were acting when, and why do you think that your previous manager perceived you in that way? What? No, that doesn't. Like, is it something you said or something you did? Or why would they think you were stalking them? So how do you stay organized with multiple projects going on at the same time? Well, that's great. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with sticky notes. I love sticky notes. No, note taking is fine. Okay. Well, that's a little unusual. Why do you print out the photos? To a cork board. Okay. And then you have red yarn going from push pin to push pin and picture to picture. It sounds almost like you're like, it's one of those sort of like detective board case kind of things. No, not at all like that? Okay. So what kind of information is most reliable to you? I see. I agree it's important not to listen to gossip and rumors. So if that's the kind of information that's not reliable to you, what kind of information is most reliable to you? instincts. Trust your gut. Okay. And how do you handle working on a team with diverse perspectives? Well, this position actually involves dealing with lots of different people and making sure that you're coordinating things and making sure that everyone's on the same page. That so and everyone can come out from different angles, and then you need to all work together within the meeting to follow the same path, the same trajectory. Right. So, can you give a time when you made a mistake and you had to receive feedback, and how you were then able to implement that corrective feedback and go forward with that improved understanding? Okay, let's break it down. Can you tell me about a specific time when you made a mistake? So then the manager told you about it and you received feedback. Tell me how you responded when you heard the feedback, when you were constructively informed. That's not work appropriate, and that will not happen here. In no way. We actually have a zero tolerance for physical violence or verbal violence. We have a zero tolerance for violence in the workplace policy that is both physical and verbal. So that assault will never happen here. If it does, it will result in a thorough investigation, and in the case that the investigation pulls up that the information is accurate, that they assaulted you in that manner, then there will be serious repercussions, typically resulting in termination of that manager's employment. A manager should never lay hands on their employee. That's not constructive criticism. That's not helpful feedback. That sounds a little abusive, actually. And you're saying that this was almost entirely unprompted. Just you made one mistake, and they snapped like that. Okay. So with that, what do you do to calm down when the stress of work gets to you? All right. Okay. Well, I'm going. I just have a couple, maybe one or two more questions. Is that okay? All right. If you got this position, what would your long-term goals be in the case that you obtained this position here? That's okay. I understand that you're trying to look for a home, but what about why okay, you didn't have to say the address, but why that address in particular? And how did you know that that was across the street from where I live? I see. And how long have you been wanting to move into there? Okay. That's interesting. Why didn't you put that on your resume? That's oddly specific. So, okay, so you actually haven't dated this person, but you know you're going to marry them. Do they know that you want to marry them? I'm now okay. There is some professionality that we really want to maintain during these interviews. So, so the future spouse that supposedly barely knows you is going to die at that time that way. Is this like a promise or a threat? Uh-huh. Yeah, no, this is normal. Well, most people actually usually keep their 5 year plan rather vague, but you actually have your 5 year plan mapped out very precisely. No, I love that attention to detail. Attention to detail is one of those elements that we are really looking for here. Yes. Um, I notice you have a lot of tattoos, and tattoos aren't a deal breaker for this position. For this position, but we do have a bit more of a formal dress code than what you're wearing today. Uh, I'm just saying what you have is a little more casual than our business casual policy. Do you have any concerns with maintaining a more professional attire? No, for your position, you do not need to be suit and tie and everything. You're as the mid-level assistant, associate production agent manager. Business casual is fine, but what you're wearing right now is much more on the casual and less on the business. Do you have any concerns with wearing something that possibly covers up your tattoos? No, I don't need to see more of your tattoos. I don't think I don't I just uh um I don't need to see all of your tattoos. I don't need to see the context to make sense of it. It's not our policy to examine everyone's tattoos and determine whether they're offensive or not. Our policy is much more blatant of the try to cover up tattoos to prevent an issue from arising. Some people take offense when there is nothing uh, of an overt offensive nature to it, but some people get reactive, and so our policy. I do not. Um. Uh, no, that's impressive. Yes. Would you mind putting your shirt back on? I'm just saying that. No, it's lovely. It really is. Uh, it's it's a lot. It's must cost you a lot of money and taken a lot of time, and you got it 15 years ago. Wow. It holds up very well. It's yeah. No. I see it. Yeah. Um, as I mentioned again, would you please put your shirt back on? No. I don't need to see that. Please take your feet off the table. I don't need to see that. No. Um, this isn't exactly the professionalism that we are looking for. I think. Would you please put your shirt on before? I conclude this interview. Um, th- yes, thank you. Um, no, I did notice that. So I guess I do have another question. Why is my face on your um, abdomen? I mean, it's a rather accurate depiction of me, and it's a little alarming to see that there. Right. No, I did like the use of the uh, midsection to help accentuate my Anyway, yeah. Uh, any other uh, any questions for me? Mm-hmm. I think you already mentioned the date that we would. I'm going to just uh, wrap this up pretty quickly. If you don't mind. No, thank you. No, no. That would actually be a conflict of interest. It is our kind of policy that uh, if there are relations at work that you're not in a manager role to a lower role, it would be uh, it's not a workplace appropriate for the HR to be dating someone that is in the hiring process. Okay. Well, thank you so much for interviewing with us today. You should hear back from us in a couple of days. As I mentioned, I think we have many. We have many candidates that are interviewing for this position. Yes, thank you. Um, you will either receive an email from me or a phone call. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to send me an email. I know that feeling that as soon as the interview is over and you get home and you think I should have asked them about such and such. Yes, my pets are doing just fine, and I know where they are. Um, that's so. Yeah. Feel free to email me other questions. You can also please and leave a comment with the front desk, as I mentioned. And again, check your inbox. Have your phone ready. You'll get an email or phone call in a couple of days with our decision. Thank you so much, and have a great week. Security is gonna escort you out. Thank you so much. Have a great day.